Yeah. Thanks for joining me, Joy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
We're becoming like really good friends, aren't we?
I know.
I love that though. So let's talk about your garden. So you're in hardiness zone. You're in Pennsylvania.
Right on the line between 6 and 7.
Okay.
We range between 105 plus to 105 minus at our, the outside. We get 30 inches plus of snow in the wintertime. We can, not every winter, but we have. And 36 is the most I remember.
Okay.
That was enough.
Yeah.
And, staying on the ground for, months at a time too. Yeah. You can. It doesn't always. Yeah. Some winters it's just dry,
Yeah. So when spring comes, you're ready to get out there and get gardening, right?
And yes.
Yeah. And you keep busy. So tell me about your gardening. You garden now.
Right. Yeah. We have I live in a parsonage. My husband's a pastor. So we have our house garden, which our house is on 3 lots. So it's not just, one little lot, but 3. And then we have the church gardens. And because I'm the passionate gardener, I end up doing all this gardening. And then we have our nonprofit has a food pantry garden called the Giving Garden. And we have that. And then we have a couple of cottages, one we own and one our nonprofit owns. And we use that to house mission teams that come in and do, relief efforts and construction work and, mission kinds of things. And so I have, gardens around those as well. So, yes, I think I garden.
That's a lot. That's a lot of gardening. Really.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy growing vegetables and flowers, or what do you grow?
I like flowers better.
Yeah.
Part of it is I have some health problems, and that's become a little bit worse in the last few years. And so I can't tolerate the heat in the middle of summer. If it were not for volunteers and interns that come and help us out, and have a wonderful friend named Sarah. She goes by Sarah B. And because her name's this long. And she does most of the vegetable gardening and is in charge of that now. So we split it out. She's doing the vegetables. I'm doing the fruit. I mean, not the fruit, the flowers, all the beds that are around and everything. And I come in and I'll, do some things and help out and everything, but we've decided it's easier if each of us is in charge of one thing so that we don't end up messing each other up, so,
That's a great partnership. I mean, because we can't all grow everything, and you should grow what you enjoy.
Yeah. And I have my little vegetable plot behind the house, but it's pretty small.
Nice. So what are your favorite flowers to grow then?
Flowers, I like perennials. Love perennials because they come back, every year. And then every spring you find that they've wandered like wayward children, and you have to carefully dig them up and bring them back home and say, now you stay where you belong.
They're growing, right?
The great thing is they're free.
Awesome.
And, when you're on a limited budget, it's a wonderful thing to find free flowers growing in different places,
Definitely.
I love wild geraniums. If you've ever seen the seed pods on those things, they're horrible. They look like little fairy carousels.
Beautiful.
But you can't transplant those puppies. At least I have not succeeded in doing it. Either leave them where they're growing or give it up. And I've tried planting the seeds, and I think I've succeeded, but you never know if it was you or a bird,
Right. I know I have, I don't know a variety I have. It's a perennial geranium that my sister-in-law gave me. And I got to watch it because it loves where I have it planted. It just grows and keeps going. Yeah. So that's kind of fun. So what kind of vegetables do you enjoy growing, or do you grow on all that in all those gardens? You have a lot of gardening.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I have the staple things, and then we're always trying like a different eggplant or, peppers. We, experiment with peppers a lot, and because my husband loves peppers, and he loves to cook. I do the we have this whole backwards family. He cooks and I do all the maintenance. And
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. So but one of the things that I love are peas, because they're adorable. They're so pretty and they're so cute, and there's so many zillions of varieties of them, like on the book that I did, I've got these lovely purple peas. These are actually, I don't know. No, I take it back. I was thinking they were those purple, what are those, hyacinth beans? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Really long pods. These don't. So, I can't remember where I got this picture.
Yeah, there's so many different varieties. There's a new I was telling you the other day about a new variety I'd seen at a trade show. And the seed, within 30 days, you have peas already.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some great varieties.
Make sure you let me know what they are if you figure that out.
I will. And hopefully they'll be brand new this year. So hopefully we can get our hands on them, and I'll definitely share with you.
We've done gardening club camps for kids with our nonprofit LifeWorks. And they, it's so much fun introducing kids to peas. Because first of all, they're adorable. The little curly cues that attach themselves to things. They'll wrap themselves around your finger, and it's just like a baby holding on, and you wonder, how is it alive? and the kids just find it. I haven't gotten over it, so they're going to.
Yeah.
And and then you explain the phrase 2 peas in a pod, and just fun stuff like that. And then when they taste them and they find out they're sweet, and they're like, this is the sweetest candy. This is so cool. And then you show them some straight out of the freezer, and then they're ice cold and sweet and cool, and they're round, and there's just, what could you not like about peas?
And
except for if you cook them to death and they're like laying there in your plate and they're gray-green mushy. Ew. I don't like them then either.
Right. So tell me about the kids. Is this are these kids that help out in your garden that you have at church, or what is
No, we don't really have kids helping out. That has not worked real well.
Okay, sure.
We've done garden camps for kids.
Okay.
And we use that as an educational type of thing. But when we have let kids help out in the garden, we ended up with crops not where we wanted them all, or not there at all, or all in one bunch in one spot.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Yeah. So earlier you told me a little bit about your giving garden that you have going. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, we have a food pantry where LifeWorks does it, feeds about 600 people a month. And we decided, they need some vegetables, not just breads and canned goods and meats and, whatever we can get our hands on to give out. But so we have this little plot of land right beside the church, and we're like, let's plant a garden, it's tiny, but we produce a lot. And so we started the giving garden. And so it's basically, it's a food pantry. Giving garden is a term that is fairly new. We started using it about 4 years ago, I think. And now if you look up giving garden, you'll find that it's a garden grown so that you're giving the food away. That's the whole point of it. As opposed to a community garden where people come in and grow things for themselves. This is where people come in and grow things for other people. And so that's, that's the whole idea of LifeWorks, is to help people,
That's wonderful. Yeah. So with all these gardens you're talking about, I can kind of see where you may have been inspired to write your book.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
So, I don't know. Can you hold it up like really carefully? Just go nice and slow.
This is my
beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
I love that. The artwork on the front is it's just perfect. I love it.
Hey, that was the idea. I wanted to do something botanical, something that included, all kinds of different plants, not just one with flowers and vegetables and, things edible and not. You know, so,
Very
yeah.
cool. So, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to put the journal together.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
I was at this stage where I was working way too hard. I mean, obviously anybody that's doing this much gardening is working too hard. And I was working hard, but I wasn't working smart. And physically, I'm not handling it well. I can't, like I said, I can't be out there in the very middle of summer in the heat of it. And so I was really getting frustrated because there's so many things that I need to do and want to do. And I wasn't accomplishing as much as I want to do. And that's when I just kind of started praying and said, God, what, I need to be working smarter. This is not functioning well. And so I asked, what should I be spending my time on? What is going to work well? I need, one of the things that drives us crazy about talking about nonprofits, you hear all this stuff about the big nonprofits and like the people at the top skimming money off the top and everything. And what people don't realize is for every one of those, there are probably 10,000 small nonprofits out there doing good works. And, the people who are running them are sacrificing everything they can to make that work, And so, we're kind of like that, it's like, we're feeding 600 people a month, but, at the same time, bills aren't getting paid quite as well as they should. And the car's old and, we're using it to run around and get all this delivering food and picking up food and all sorts of stuff, Sure. And so I'm just looking for how can I make money? How can I raise money for the Giving Garden, make this work because there's things I want to do that I just don't have the money for, I want some more beds. And then it's like, I'm pricing out lumber. I don't have the money for lumber,
Right.
And we've already tried the method of getting people to donate it. It didn't work too well. They like getting money for their lumber. And, I understand that.
That's always nice.
I was looking at all this stuff and I'm praying and the phrase that kept coming into my mind was work with what's in your hand. So I took a step back and I looked, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my passions? What might tie all that together? And that's when I remembered, bingo, I had started a version of this the garden journal years ago, but it was elaborate and it was too much, and it realized that I could put all these forms that I had come up with into one book.
Sure.
Make it compact,
Yeah.
So it's compact if you count 250 pages as compact, But I took all these different forms that I'd come up with, suppliers, purchasers, weather log, because you've got to keep track of weather if you're doing a garden.
That's awesome.
Graph
Maybe you can just really, well, we know what graph paper looks like.
Everybody knows what graph paper looks like. You're right.
But,
so that you can do a garden plot. My favorite, run into it here.
if you do it really slow, it shows up like perfect. Oh, look, yeah, that looks great.
So that's the individual plant page. And so there are over 50 places where you can check off what you've done on, what you need to know about the plant, an individual plant, pruning, soil requirements, sun exposure, propagation. If it's poisonous, what is poisonous to, or what part of it is poisonous? The kind of plant it is, its attributes, its maturity, what companion plants there might be, everything. Everything you might need to know about that plant, and then in a big space to put your actual seed packet, or do a drawing or a photograph, and fill that in. So it was just, that was my answer. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. Not that there's a lot of writing in this, but I've got all these years of experience gardening. I worked in the publishing and print industry, so I understand about, how to put something together like this. Although, now when you go on the website, it's at Amazon. And when you go to Amazon and you look at my book, you're going to see it like this on the page. and apparently there's not a thing that can be done about that. I apologize, but they print in the printer doesn't have the ability to make an 11-inch spine that can go across the top with it reading this way. And everyone that I've shown the book to said, I am so thankful. It works so much better to open it up like this, because you open it and you can write on both pages. They stay flat, barely. And, it's not too big, but, when you lay it down on the table, it's laying pretty flat, surprisingly. And I wrote in there, if you want, take it to the printer. They can cut the spine right off the top of it and hole punch it, and then you can put it in a 3-ring binder. Or they can put it in a spiral, but to me, a 3-ring would make sense, because then you can rearrange the pages to how you want them,
Sure.
So I tried to make it flexible, but at the same time, I'm planning on doing some other books from some of the forums. Like, I put in here a wildlife page, and I'm already getting comments about, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
And, but they're going to find out, they fill out their wildlife page, and then they want more, and there aren't any more in the book. So I'm going to do another book for that.
Oh, that's excellent. Now, when you say wildlife, what do you mean? Like wildflowers, or what are you talking about?
Birds and butterflies and hummingbirds and squirrels and raccoons, and when they go in hibernation and when they come back out, and when they fly south, and that sort of thing. When they're nesting.
Right.
There's a lot of people, like, for instance, I have espalier trees behind my house. And invariably, I want to go out there and prune just about the time they're building a nest. If I was writing it down, I would know when this happens. And I could think my pruning around their nesting time. But no, I haven't got that far in my thinking. I was too busy writing a book.
No, I think you did a great job, and you're the perfect person to write this, because you've been gardening for a long time, and you knew that you needed to get organized, and so that's perfect. So you took what you needed and you put it together in this beautiful book. And so what do you think? So your favorite part on there, you said, is it's the end of where you can detail each plant.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
there's the pruning pages where when to prune and trim and tidy things. Right. It doesn't matter what part of the book it is. It's there because I don't have a memory. No matter what it is, I forget what I need to know. And so I can go back and I can look and say, okay, this should be done here at this time for this reason,
Right.
And so no matter, I have a different page for perennials, annuals, biennials, and then there are all the different categories of plants. Each have their own log. So you can keep track of the kind of things that you need to keep track of for those things specifically, so the forms are geared to that kind of plant.
Right.
So that helps me a lot. So
No,
what will other people?
I think that's great. Because, there's, we're all trying to find different ways to get organized. And I shared with you a little bit ago how I just got done. I was out trying to get all my bulbs put in, trying to finish up my bulb planting. And so bulbs are a little complicated because you've got your perennials up still and you have your shrubs. And so, I'll take the packages and kind of lay them down where I know I'm going to plant them. And then, so dig your hole and you put your bulb in there. And then it's like, oh no, how am I going to remember which plant I planted where? So, I took my cell phone and I started by taking a picture, and then I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll just video. I made a quick little video where I, held up what I had, where I put it. But, we can use technology like that, which it's a great thing. But nothing beats, to have, the prints in your hand. And the journal makes it even more special because, you're writing your personal information in there. Right. And, what a great thing to hand down,
Yeah. That was a big part of it, is because, we were talking about microclimates. You're 5.5, I'm 6.5, 7. And never mind that, because the people a mile away from me have plants that come up a month before mine do.
Isn't that crazy?
Just a mile. So everyone has their own specific things that happen in their yard at at a specific time. And, and your soil is different than the next door neighbor's soil, and soil can be different in your own yard in one spot from another. So there's too much to know. And that's why on the back cover, I wrote, let's see, you'll love the results of your recordings, because as much as gardening is a science, it's an art above all. But the point is, and then I go backwards and say it the other way around. The fact is, it is an art, but there's science behind it. And if you don't apply the science, which is, what is science, but, proven methods that you get facts and you put them together and there you go, Totally. That's what you need.
I love that. That's very cool. So do you have space in there for recipes, perhaps, about these veggies we're growing?
Pardon me?
Do you have a space in there for recipes?
No, I do not. That might be the next book coming along. We're talking about it. Sarah B., who works, does the veggie part of my garden, is an amazing whiz at coming up with the most creative recipes. So she doesn't know it yet, but I'm planning to talk to her about this whole idea of sharing those recipes and what can we do with that? Because, wow, I mean, she combines things that I, in my wildest imagination, would never think of, and then I'll try it. This is good. I would never do this. Wow.
Well, that'd be part 2, the Garden Journal part 2 with recipes.
Exactly. And, talk up to her about it. We'll get it and put it up on the, the website.
Yeah.
GardenKitsch.com is where, besides Amazon, that's where you could go. For people that, want to do bulk orders. I priced it with, excuse me.
Oh, no, I love it. I'm a cat person. We're good.
I have...
You must be hungry.
Bulk orders, like people who want to do fundraising or something, garden clubs and that type of thing. So if they go to gardenkitsch.com, contact me and we'll work something out. I've set it up for that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Garden Kitsch is the word garden and then KITCH, like kitchen without the EN at the end. Yeah.
Nice. Very easy to find you. And so I noticed today you're on Twitter. Are you new to Twitter?
Yes. I mean, I'm not personally new to Twitter, but I put Garden Kitsch as its own thing. So Garden Kitsch is a Twitter.
The same name as the website?
Yes.
Great. So we can find you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So, okay. So I'm excited. We can find you on Amazon and we can find you on your website. What a great gift idea. I mean, this is perfect. I think it would be perfect for all ages, really. So,
yeah, I mean, there's certainly nothing that anyone couldn't do in here, for sure.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use the whole book. You can use what part you want,
That's true. You're right. Maybe it will inspire somebody to grow some other things because you've got enough space in there. Max it out. Grow more stuff.
Exactly. Oh, look, I have room in my journal. I can,
I better get out and dig some more holes.
Don't we all go to the garden center and think, oh, I need more plants? Yes.
Yeah, that seeds and bulbs. I'm quite an addict. But, well, thank you so much, Joy, for taking the time today to share with us your new book. And I'm excited to follow you on Twitter.
Okay.
And now on Blab. We'll have to do another Blab.
All right. Wow.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.